I'm a moral anti-realist, so the point of that is that you can, like, as long as it's someone's choice. I think you need to wait until you're 18 probably to do a lot of gender-affirming surgeries. But things like puberty blockers are actually really helpful because they can be reversed later on in life. Yes, they can.
So you realize that's a chemical castration of children, right?
You can avoid that. That doesn't happen. They're safe. They've been used since the 70s to help people who are having stressful periods.
These students are at it again. I hope Charlie Kirk says some interesting stuff, because I'm already boiling a little bit with what he's saying. I don't know where he determines whether the age of 18 is the correct age. You know, he just arbitrarily gets it from wherever he gets it from. But he's a moral realist, as he claims he is. And, you know, kids should be allowed to have those type of chemicals going into their body. And what if it's the case that kids who we all know could also change their mind in the future, what if they don't want to do what they did when they were a child, because you agree that they should be allowed to do that when they were kids and put chemicals into their body, which in the future they might want to change. But oh yeah, kids could do what they want in terms of gender affirmation or whatever you call it, care. But if it's in terms of drinking, they can't do that. They have to wait till they're 18 to be able to do that. But when it comes to this, they can do it when they're kids.
That's not true.
That is true.
You can't press pause on puberty. The amount
that's the purpose of the drug. That is the purpose of the drug.
Yeah, so then why would there be 30,000 people that regret transitioning and want to detransition that we know of, and that list growing in great numbers? And how do you explain suicide rates going up 7 to 8 years after the boost of testosterone, when young people, they get Lupron, they get puberty blockers, and then 7, 8 years later, the suicide rates go up dramatically? How do you explain that?
I know what you're referring to. That has to do with people being forced to detransition and the social pressure that occurs as a result of it. The problem with trans suicidality...
There's never been more transgender propaganda in the history of the species. You can't walk into a Starbucks without seeing... You see the trans flag more than the American flag. What
social pressure that they're receiving after, where he gets his stats from to determine that it's the social pressure that they're receiving. That's why they still regret it after. So before the surgery, suicide rates are high. After the surgery, suicide rates are still high and around the same number as they were before the surgery. But, you know, according to him, it's social pressures and the people in society that don't want them to do it. That's why they're committing suicide. Maybe, just maybe, it might be the fact that they might have a mental illness. Instead of telling them and giving them what they want, maybe we should cure the mental illness instead. Maybe that might help. That's just my opinion.
What social pressure is there on a trans person?
It's really different where I grew up. I didn't grow up in a city. It's rough sometimes.
Okay, well, if by rough you mean people love the truth enough to tell a 15-year-old you're not actually a man or not actually a woman, I would not consider that rough. But I mean, you could have your own definition. But let me just close by saying this, which is, what do you think determines reality?
My friends have been attacked.
Okay. So your friends have been attacked
because of their identities.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Your friends being attacked for whatever it is, their identity, as they claim it is identity, or their mental illness, for better terms, what I would call it, is not an excuse to say that's why they still suffer from it in the future. A lot of people suffer from it. Why is the suicide rate in the black community not high? Because according to you people, they're suffering as well. So why is it not as high as the LGBT ABCD community? I've experienced a lot of racial abuse when I was growing up, to the place where I was getting jumped by groups of people just because of this color of my skin. If, based off of your logic, it's because they were persecuted, well, all the persecuted groups, such as the black community that you guys so-called claim are persecuted, why aren't the suicide rates as high in the black community then?
So, do I create a mass movement trying to tell people to feel sorry for me all the time?
Yeah, because, I mean, sure, if you want to feel people be sorry for you, I don't want your friends to get hurt.
Nor do I
But-
want your friends to get hurt.
But but your
people-
rhetoric encourages that.
No, hold on. Yes, it does. Hold on. The best way. Okay. All right. Okay. The best way to help people. Let me just. I think. Maybe we can find some agreement here. A general rule for life. Do you think the best way to help people, if you know? Hold on. Put the mic up in a second. It's the best way to help people to lie to them or tell them the truth.
You need to tell them the truth.
I agree. We should tell young boys that are suffering from gender dysphoria or young girls that are suffering from gender dysphoria that you're not going into an operating room, and we love you enough to tell you the truth to get you back into alignment on how God created you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Nope, next question. Thank you.
You like Joe Biden?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Joe Biden, these nuts!
Thanks for being here. The tolerant left strikes again.
Leftists are the most funniest people to ever embrace the face of Earth. You talk about how your friends were being violated and physical acts were being acted upon them, and the very thing you complain that was happening to them, you go and do the same thing to Charlie Kirk, walk up to him and nearly attack him because you're in your feelings. So the very thing you complain about, you do the same thing to other people, expecting a different result. So it's like a vicious cycle of other people get attacked, you see them get attacked, your friends and groups get attacked, you do the same thing to other groups of people. And to me, that's just continuing the cycle, which makes no sense. And it shows the delusion and the hypocrisy and the degeneracy of most of the people in this world and in the West nowadays. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible. Comment down below. Let's get a discussion going down below. I'll reply to as many comments as possible. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. And I'm out.